Hello, and thank you guys so much for tuning in for this video. And here we're going to be taking a look at Dak Prescott. We get to see these scars that he had from multiple surgeries on that ankle. It was released on the Hard Knocks opener. And so now we get to take a look for ourselves. And I'll scroll down a little here. And yeah, we can see how that looks there. And that's after having two major surgeries on his ankle, last year. And so it was finally revealed. And yeah, you see the wounds here. I mean, I'll scroll through the article to go through with some of the stuff that they pointed out here. But yeah, so he showed off his marks, during the opening episode of this year's Hard Knocks, which is featuring the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, hey, it's a good time to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. A lot of optimism, a lot of screen time, honestly. You've got the Hard Knocks. You've had the Hall of Fame game against the Steelers opening the season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So yeah, Cowboys are being featured a lot, which is expected from America's team. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show the clip real quick of the actual Hard Knocks thing. This will be about a little less than 3 minutes here. So we'll go ahead and play that, and I will talk you guys through it. But yeah, as you can see, this is the ankle here. And so it's also important to remember that, and he does discuss it in the article as well, throughout his rehab, that, he also last year had to deal with the fact that he lost his brother, who committed suicide. And so that was obviously a huge loss for him. And so last year, wanting to do as much as he can out there on the field to try to help his team and just, get his mind right. And plus, on top of all of that, you had the issues he was already dealing with in terms of trying to get the long-term extension that he wanted from the Cowboys. At that point in time, that was not completed. And so that was still on the mind. It's a contract year. You're going out there to show the Cowboys again that you deserve the money. And then this happens on that play right there. You can see his foot is facing the wrong direction as he tries to pop his foot back in place. And he does do that in the article. So in the video. So definitely do check out the actual YouTube video if you want to hear the audio and stuff like that. But yeah, so, and you can see Jerry Jones, he's worried. Cowboys, they know what this is. Now, Dak says that he initially thought at first that he just rolled it. And so he was just trying to get it back in place and see if he can go up there and at least, walk off the field. But then he realized he couldn't. And so that's when he called for help. But yeah, that was obviously a lot right there with so much on the line, and to have that, and the Cowboys, the expectations that they have for that season, and then for it to come to that point. And you can see that now once he's on the card, he's extremely emotional now. Teammates, they understand what this situation means. And he understands at this point too, like his season is done. It's a wrap. And so now you have to turn your attention to all kinds of rehabs and stuff. It's a long process, very long process to get back to where he is right now, to where you're almost getting ready for the start of the 2021 NFL season. But yeah, he had two surgeries. They didn't tell anybody about that, though. They kept that under wraps. So they did a good job at that. But yeah, two surgeries on that. And you see him walking there with the Dallas Cowboys. And so there you have it. Obviously, he's still dealing with that shoulder injury and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to share this video with you guys so that way you guys can at least see the video there. And so now we'll go back to discussing the rest of the article here. But yeah, so obviously the most important aspect of America's team is the quarterback position. But yeah, we were able to see the marks there on his foot, post surgeries. And he pointed out that, they ran the wishbone pattern from the top of his foot to near his Achilles. And he says, of course, the procedures that caused the scars were very serious. You recall, Dak was rushed to the operating table last October after dislocating and broke his ankle during the game. And then, and obviously after that, Cowboys had to turn to Andy Dalton in terms of just to try to salvage what they could from their season. And they made it as competitive, considering without your starting quarterback and going through about 4 different starting quarterbacks throughout that season. So it was a lot last year for the Cowboys, but they're definitely excited about this year. He's 28 years old, and he said when he had the first surgery, it was an open room, and they just wanted to go in and do what they needed to do initially. He says that he thought he was going to be able to start rehabbing, and yet he had to go back under the knife again. He said we kept that down. Nobody knew that. And then the scar became, he says, a wishbone. He added that he's healthy now and that he's completely healthy. He was later shown in the episode complaining to coaches about being taken out of practice reps and all like that. So there you have it. And the cameras also provided some insight on Dak's new shoulder injury. We know that he was throwing some light objects, as they say, a couple days ago. And so it seems that he's progressed to actually throwing football passes again here with an actual football. So that's a positive step right there. And so, but yeah, that's going to keep him out of the Cowboys, first preseason game, as well as several training camp practices, revealing that nobody in the team organizations believe that it's going to be anything long-term or anything like that. But there you have it. Overall, everybody wanted to pretty much look at the scar there. So there you have it. Yeah, but having 2 major surgeries on that's big right there. I mean, obviously, he wanted to get back to rehabbing immediately after the first time, but had to wait a bit. But yeah, then on top of that, to have that shoulder injury. So really going to be looking forward to the first time we actually get to see Dak Prescott in action and what that's going to look like this upcoming season for the Cowboys. But yeah, definitely reason for optimism. And I'm interested to see just little stuff like, in fantasy football, how far, where will most people end up taking him? Is it going to be like in years past, things like that. And then just for the Cowboys, they're going to want to get off to a strong start this year, as they do not want to get behind and end up, like starting off 0-3, 0-4, anything like that. They want to make sure that they get off to a fast start, and Dak's going to have to be fully healthy if they're going to have a chance of doing that. But with that being said, appreciate you guys so much for tuning in for this video, and see you guys next time.